Welcome into another Deep South Live. My name is Jonathan Boyd, and of course, we're here to have a great time tonight. Today, we are doing a mashup, if you will, a fusion, if you will, of Mexican and good old Southern comfort food. So we've got a Nashville hot pork chop going with a charred corn elote. Now, I do have some things that we need to do to set up. Now, I've obviously to get this going and us not be here for 3 hours. I have preset this Weber grill. If you are in the hunt for one, I did have one in the description. I love these grills. Again, they're very uncomplicated. They're very easy. I actually have a video coming out tomorrow, and it's going to teach you exactly how to use this, how to get the perfect settings. It's going to be absolutely breaks everything down for you. So if you're like Jonathan, not really used to the Weber, it makes me kind of nervous. Don't worry, I've got you taken care of. It's all done. All right. So again, look forward to that video tomorrow at 5 o'clock. But for today, it is time to get rolling. Let's talk a little bit about the setup that I have going on. Cameraman, can I borrow you just super quick to bring the camera over? We did do some things a little bit with the camera, sorry, with the setup itself. To make this happen, we need to run a two zone setup. So we have all of our coals here to one side. We're separated by bricks. We're separated by bricks. And then we've got our clear side, so our hot zone and cool side. I did not come with a center divider, so I've got some made out of some bricks that were laying around that I pressure washed. Super, super simple, cheap way to again to get you that two temp zone. And we're going to need that today because, again, we're going to be searing pork chops, but we're also going to be needing to cook them through to 155 degrees. So, first things first, we're going to get our pork chops rolling. All right. So, I got these. These are beautiful. I got two bone in, almost like pork. I mean, they look like pork cowboy steaks, nice and thick. And then the other one are pork porterhouses. Again, nice, big, beautiful steaks. I like thick cut steaks. I don't know about you, but the thicker, the better. But again, that's where that two tone comes in. So we're going to sear them off and then we're going to get them to finish cooking over in our slow zone. So let's get our seasonings added on. So again, let's start with our base, salt and pepper on each side. All right, now we're gonna start adding on all of our flavorings here. So a little garlic powder, paprika. Now you could add some brown sugar here. I'm gonna pass on that brown sugar. I'm scared I'm gonna burn. Plus, I'm gonna have honey inside of the glaze itself, but that is an option that you have. That was cayenne pepper, paprika, and then just a little drop of chili powder, just to kind of add our flavor to it. Let's flip them over and rinse and repeat. Hey, Victoria, what's happening? How's beautiful Biloxi, Mississippi doing? I miss being down that way. I haven't been down that way in a minute. All right. Get chili powder, paprika, cayenne, and then just a hit of chili powder. Now, pork has a good amount of fat, so I'm not worried about adding like oil or anything to this. Oof, warm day. All right. Again, look at that nice, big, beautiful pork chop. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to go directly right onto our hot spot. We're going to put some nice marks on that. that off over to the side. While we got our lid, we're going to go ahead and let's close the lid. Let's do that. We can get our temp back up. So for it right now, I have the bottom absolutely wide open. Oh, Ellen Victoria, what's going on at noon in Georgia? There we go. So again, wide open on the bottom down here, open halfway at the top. Again, that's going to give us great airflow to get this heat nice and hot. And again, looking for to sear that meat, not sit there and steam it. So now let's start working on the sauce because we're going to kind of let this sauce work over in our cold side. So we're going to add in some honey. Try not to make a mess with it. That's my favorite thing to do with honey. Make a big mess with it. Add in our butter. That was probably half a cup of honey. Add in 5 tablespoons. Oh gosh, making a mess. 5 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna add in our cayenne pepper to give it that heat. And now this is just me. This is my preference. We're gonna add in just a little bit of hot sauce. This is our hot sauce that we make in house. I'll admit that's one thing I am super, super spoiled about. It's my wife makes beautiful hot peppers for us that we turn into hot sauce every year. So I'm going to get this. Trying to. We're going to hopefully start selling. We're trying to get the to sell. We're trying to work on that. It's a process to sell some of that hot sauce and the legalities. I can sell local. I just can't sell online, unfortunately, and that's the way that I want to sell. So again, we'll take our hot sauce and pop it right there. All right. Now it is while that's all working, we don't want to be opening and closing this lid constantly. We want to keep the heat locked in. So since we're doing that, let's start working on some of these other items. Oh, I did forget something I like to do. This isn't a requirement, but when I got a bunch of herbs sitting around, I like to throw this on the heat. I'm gonna tuck that in there right over to the side. It's gonna put a nice aromatic flavor onto the pork chop while it cooks right there. All right. So now let's work on this charred corn elote, which is basically a fun way of saying a like a Mexican corn dip, if you will. Does require a couple easy ingredients though. This is again one of those items that I like because it is super easy. You don't have to have it charred up like this, like we're going to do, but it does bring out that extra flavor. So we're going to put our corn over off to the side. Get our handy dandy zester. We're going to kind of get some chop work done while that's going. First things first, got our garlic bulb. We're going to grate one garlic bulb with our zester. If you don't have one of these, this is honestly one of my favorite tools in the kitchen. Makes things a whole lot easier. There we go. Oops. All right, now we're going to start to zest 4 limes. Hope everybody's teams had fun. I know Miss Victoria, I know the state of Georgia's got to be happy with its football teams after yesterday. I'm a Florida fan, so not so much. It's just another week. It's just another week, you know. Both teams had good wins yesterday. All right. It's a pretty good size lime, so we might not use all of these. We probably might stick to 2. Really is for me, a lot of people get stuck in, I don't know if you could hear it from the microphone. She was asking, is there a specific amount of zest that we're looking for? I think it comes down to ratios. Uh, I get stuck on recipes because a lot of people feel like it has to be 1 teaspoon of that, 1 tablespoon of this. It's really about ratios. And if you can understand ratios in your mind for recipes, it kind of takes things to a new level. You're not having to be stuck on, is this 100% to the recipe or not? You're really just focused on the flavor and then just matching it up. I'm looking though for, about 2 to 3 zest. These are a little bit larger limes. And then we might bum a little bit of lime juice if we see that our Mexican crema is too solid. We might loosen that up with just a little bit of lime juice. So I'm going to stick to 2 limes. All right. See how our porky chops are doing. Orlando's in the house. That's a place we need to go. We need to take a culinary adventure to Orlando. There we go. Actually, I'm going to move these over to the side. I'll kind of let those slow cook in. Ooh, gain some heat. Yeah, kind of have those herbs there off to the side. There we go. That's actually probably going to help me heat this up just a little bit. All right. Let's start getting our corn locked in, adding some char to our corn. I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight pieces of corn. Again, we're serving for about 4, but let's be honest, these are man-sized pork chops that could easily be more. There you go. Orlando lives in Orlando. Man, just feels like the whole city's named after you at that point. So we're gonna add in our red onion. Again, we got 8 ears of corn, so I know we're gonna need about a cup's worth of diced red onion. Again, already starting to get the smells that we want. So again, just kind of show you, it's not much, but we're kind of got a moment to kill. This is kind of what it's looking like for now. Get nice and mixed in. The inner me wants to go ahead and add in the crema. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, but we're going to wait for that corn. But let's add in a couple of our other ingredients because I like to spice it up. All right, we're going to add in this corn, and that's going to add some nice heat. But I want to jazz it up a little bit. So I got some jalapenos, some little baby jalapenos. I've got 2 little baby cayennes here from the garden, a red jalapeno, and I'm going to sneak some banana peppers right off the vine behind us, kind of add in just a little bit more heat. We're going to cut them nice and thin. So let's get these out of the way for now. Like I have the smallest table humanly possible for the biggest man. Pino. If you wanted to remove some of the heat, you could just withhold the seeds. My wife and son, they're not too worried about the heat. She's saying bring it on behind the camera. All right, trying to get my temperature rising just a little bit. That's the only thing with these Webers is again, it's understanding the temp flow and getting it rolling. It is, kind of takes a moment to get that heat back up once you lose it. Cause I've left the lid off for a second too long, but it's getting back up. All right. Oop, you go add it in a heat. Add in some herbage, some green onions. Again, that's probably, 2 or 3 tablespoons. This is 2 tablespoons of cilantro. I'm going to reserve just a couple pinches to put on top. There we go. I'm gonna add, steal one of these pieces of butter. We can get our heat up just a little bit. Kind of melt some butter in here just a little bit. Who doesn't like butter on their corn, right? There we go. I'm gonna do the same with these pork chops. Sneak a little piece on top, kind of baste them while they sit. There we go. Ooh, sorry. It's a little bit sweaty out here. How's it going, everybody? I saw that we got a bump in people. Hope everybody's doing great. Again, this is Deep South Foodies. My name is Jonathan. I'm super excited that you're here. We've got a great meal going for those that are joining in. We've got a seared Nashville hot pork chop with a charred corn elote. So again, a nice warm charred corn salad. Really, all we're doing right now is just waiting on all these grilled items to be done. It is a law to have corn on butter, right? I mean, I'm borderline on Team Paula Dean when it comes to butter. When in doubt, just add butter. Like John Cena back here. That's what's up. There we go. Now we got some heat rolling. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna pull my saucy sauce kind of over to the edge, get away from that direct heat. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Don't be scared to put a little char on it. It's gonna give it all that flavor that we're looking for. After we're done with that, we're going to move those pork chops just a little bit over closer to the heat so they can finish cooking through. And then we'll put one more little layer of char on them right as we go to finish. And that's when we're going to glaze. There we go. Here's one. There's two. That was a good choice. It smells delicious. There's something about fat hitting coals that just makes everything taste better. All that flavor pops up and coats. Oh, yeah, there we go. Two last pieces here. Again, if you have not had a chance yet, we've got some other great videos from the last couple weeks. We are here every single Sunday. This is our chance to goof off, have some fun, fellowship, enjoy cooking. This is our first time doing it outside. So I'm thankful that it has been a nice, beautiful day. Hope we'll get done before the sun drops down behind us. Hello to everyone adding in. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. And there's our last bit of corn so we can start developing that salad. There we go. Move our pork chops just slightly closer to the heat. And then we're going to cover up and let them be easily for the next 20 minutes here. All right. There we go. Woo. They said it's fall here in Mississippi. You wouldn't know it. It's still easily 90 something degrees out here. All right. So now we're going to start going through, taking off our corn off the cobs. Can't quite reach the pigs from there, but they're over there. It'd be great if I could throw the pigs that way. Oh, 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 she got it. There we go. I'm super excited. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. We leave party foul. Mary Ev and I leave in what, a week now, and then we're gonna go get to be in Hell's Kitchen to watch our season 24 preview. I'm really excited about it. I'm really honored to be representing the state of Georgia. I've lived and worked in several other states, but Georgia's always been home. Several people ask me, why not Mississippi? Why not Mississippi? And I didn't really have a real answer to that, other than, Georgia technically has been my home the longest. It's always Mississippi has been an amazing home. It's been my place of residence for the last, almost 10 years. We're really closing in on 10 years here in Mississippi. But there is something different. There is something sweet about Georgia air. There's something about going home, and maybe it's the memories, maybe it's the nostalgia. I don't know what it is, but you go home and you feel different. You go to your hometown. I pretty much grew up all over the state of Georgia. So I grew up, my latter years in Noonan, Georgia, which is south of Atlanta. But I spent a lot of time down in South Georgia. That's where my grandparents are from. My parents grew up. So I really kind of, Georgia's home to me. Like the entire state is home to me. And, I lived in North Georgia up in the mountains. I went to college in Atlanta, and it's just home. Everybody, when I talk to people from my hometown, they're always like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here, or I hate coming home. And it's one of my favorite things is going home to Georgia. I don't care what anybody says. Georgia will always be home, in my opinion. No matter where I live, no matter what I got going on, there's something about returning home. 5 second rule. You know what? I would normally agree with you. See, right now, though, for those who can't hear on the microphone, Orlando said that 5 second rule, I should have picked up that piece of corn. And if we were inside, I would probably agree with you and maybe just slip it in and nobody would notice. But um, the problem is out here, we do live on a farm and we have animals that are wild. Like I'm confident you can't see it, but there's been a pig out of its pen for the last 3 weeks. It's down here in the grass down here, and so they're always up here. Chickens, the pigs, our dogs. They're kind of like other pigs, and we got lots of them. So I think we got four right now on the property. They're working dogs, so they're our herding dogs, and they're good dogs, but they make a mess everywhere they go. Otherwise, I might sneak it in, and honestly, if I wasn't on camera, if I was just cooking for myself, I probably would sneak it in. But I know somebody's gonna watch this and judge me. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the love for the live. It's a lot different than doing a it's a lot different than doing like a traditional cooking video. I mean, we put those out once a week as well. But I think there's something fun about fellowshipping, cooking food together with friends. I think there's a reason why Jesus did a lot of his work around food. I think that fellowship of food is something that just gets me hype and gets me excited. There's not a, and I hate to say it like this, in a professional world, and outside of of course when my wife runs to me and kisses me, other than those moments with your kids, outside of those family moments, what really gets me excited and really just gets me going, there's just nothing better than when somebody tastes your food and says that this is, that's amazing. That's beautiful. That brought me back somewhere. It makes me feel some kind of way. Chef, that's really good. It's a high. I think when you see chefs and they're just addicted to being a chef, I get it because I can get in that mode very easily. That's why I love what I do. It's not a really ever a day of work if you're always doing exactly what you feel like you were made to do. All right. All right, here we go. I'm making a mess on this table, but it is looking delicious. So we're going to, all right, salt and pepper it up just a little bit because we did not season the corn before it went on. Now it's time to add some flavorings. All right, just a couple of drops of chili powder. Hey to everybody hopping on. For those adding on late, I see a couple people adding on. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. Again, we're out here making some Nashville hot pork chops, charred corn elote, doing a Spanish and redneck fusion, if you will. Inside of here, we've got our charred corn. We've got red onions, cilantro, green onions, and I did add a little bit of jalapeno and cayenne pepper. Again, taking peppers out of both worlds of both here in the South. We make a lot of our hot sauces out of cayennes. Like if you have a traditional Louisiana hot sauce, it's made with cayennes and Tabascos. And then I'm going to show you this crema. If you don't have, I did find this. If you have like a Kroger or was it IGA, is I think their other partner name. It is basically kind of like sour cream, but this is Mexican crema. I did find it. It was over in the Hispanic cheese area. A lot of times they'll have like a little section like in the back with all the cheeses are. Don't look where all the Americanized cheese is. Kind of look around the corner, and you're gonna find like cotija and quesadilla cheese or Oaxaca, the good stuff. I think they kind of want you to stick to the cheap stuff in the front, but it did have some authentic stuff crammed around the corner. My only complaint with their section is that they did not have tahine seasoning or tagine. I heard it called a couple of different names. But we're gonna sub that with chili powder. But if you really wanted to be authentic, you would use, in my opinion, use tagine seasoning. So we're gonna add in our crema, give it a couple mixes, and don't worry, I'm gonna bring it over closer here in just a moment so we can see it. Oh my gosh, that smells good. Mariette behind the camera says she could smell it all the way from over there. And then we're gonna add just a couple bits of cheese. We're gonna add some more on top at the end. But this is cotija cheese. If you don't have cotija, you could find like a really dry feta cheese. It's probably the European closest partner. A lot of these cheeses, they kind of have their own partner in Europe. So if you're wanting Oaxaca but can't find Oaxaca, go find a good Italian mozzarella, not the fresh kind, but like the pizza kind. They're going to kind of match up as far as stretchiness and feel go. So if you don't have, again, I would first go to sour cream. If you don't have sour cream, I would maybe, yeah, I would maybe do like cream cheese and yogurt. Check on our porky chops here. Start to cook through. They smell amazing. We're gonna start glazing those up here in just a minute. Let's give these a first taste. I think I'm gonna need a little bit more salt. My instincts tell me, but that cotija is salty. So again, it's kind of like that feta. So it does add a little bit of heat. You know what? I stand corrected on the lime zest. We are going to bump it up a notch. That heat really comes through, but that crema kind of puts that flavor right where we want it. Then we're going to hit it with just a little bit more salt, and then we're going to start finishing up these pork chops. We're going to start coming together here real quick. I wonder if it's as hot down there as it is up here, as far as Orlando goes. Are y'all getting any winter down there? I was talking to some of my friends who are up north, and they're already wearing like flannel and like long pants. Honestly, it's still flip flops and sandals, shorts. It's almost too hot for a polo shirt here. All right, so let me bring this closer so you can see it. And this is exactly what we are looking for. Get a nice, beautiful char in there on that corn. Got the red onions, the crema, and now it's got the zestiness of that lime that's going to cut through the fat of this pork really, really well. It's not too bad. I will bring some of that over here. All right. All right. So we are about halfway cooked through on these. I'm going to start doing the first level glazing on these. We're talking about the dogs. I got a dog over here trying to break in up here and steal our pork chop. You hear all the rumbling around. No, you're good. Ramen's his. Who is that? Oh my god. So it's just Mississippi. Mississippi is just not only thing that you can compare it to, it's like Satan's armpit. Like I lived in Pensacola growing up for a little while. We spent a little time in Mobile as when we got married. And I've lived in some of these hot climates, but Mobile and Pensacola, and even when we were down in Orlando visiting old Mickey Mouse, there was at least a breeze. Here in Mississippi, it's just Satan's armpit, man, right there, buried in the deep of it, and it's just so ridiculously hot. Yeah, it's just next level humid. All right, so I'm going to kind of bring this sauce a little bit closer so you can see. Get all that honey. It is kind of loose, but it's going to thicken up as it sits there and glazes on again. We're going to glaze this over a couple times. It's not a one-time glaze situation. We're going to continue just to kind of glaze it up. Might be getting a little too hot. So again, that's where that, as a chef, where you got to understand your heat zones. Pull it back. Make sure again we're not burning. We'll take it right off that heat. I got it right over the bricks. So I'm going to let that glaze and cook through. So, whew, I am super excited though. So we'll have a poll up this week on what we're going to do next week. We originally talked about doing chicken today, but I had just done chicken probably 2 weeks ago. So I did not want to do chicken back to back. That's why we went with the pork chops today. So again, with that poll, you'll be helping to select what we are cooking. That could be on the Weber. That could be if you got your suggestions, make sure you leave them in the comment section down below on what you want to see. I know we've got a couple videos that are not for the live, but maybe that you'd be interested in being on live. So we talked about doing a charcuterie board, how to maximize that charcuterie board to make all your football friends who are over to watch the game happy. We talked about doing a deer was another big one. We are right in the thick of getting into hunting season. All of the guys around us, all these properties around us are all deer hunting properties. So I don't quite have deer hunting accessibility here, but we are definitely looking at doing some deer. And deer is one of my favorite meats. But again, for me, because I have a farm, it's easy for me just to walk into the pasture and snag a lamb. And so if I want that red meat that kind of has that gamey, that flavor that I like, it's easier for me to go in the pasture, get a lamb, bring it in, process it. And I can do that year round. I don't have to have a season per se. Kind of spoils me a little bit. But I know we're going to be doing sausage come in the fall, just a little bit further on. We might do an earlier day just so we have time to process it out here in daylight. Once it cools down, though. I don't like doing any processing until it gets below 55 degrees. Just from one, the flies that happen in Mississippi are one, they're almost year round, but when they get below 55 degrees, they're at least stagnant. They're not flying around as much. See, my temptation is to move it. You saw me, right? You saw I went over there and wanted to mess with it. I want to rush it. I do. I want to move it around, get it finished up. I'm ready to eat this pork chop. Low key, ready to eat that pork chop. What other suggestions do you have? Make sure you leave them in the comment section, though. But I know we've had two requests for deer processing. So deer loin, and then maybe looking at smoking a deer rack or something of that nature. Maybe some deer chili now that we're getting into the fall. Some deer and pumpkin chili. I think that would be really delicious. All right. They're actually almost cooked through. So I'm going to flip them. We're going to caramelize. Now they're cooking at a little bit different temperatures each. That's kind of how it goes a little bit. Some will get done faster than others. I'm going to glaze up this side. Again, mix it up because we do have that butter. That butter's going to want to separate. So kind of give it a little bit of love. And then I'm basing it in all this sugar, right? So I'm going to go through and give it just a little bit of salt. Kind of bring it back over. Now comes that delicate game of, glazing it, flipping it, glazing it, flipping it. What we're trying to do is just build this sticky sauce that goes onto the ribs. Again, we're sweetening up the outside. Pork just needs sugar. It's like that natural combination of just brown sugar and smoke that we're looking for. It's how we like our bacon, obviously our pork chops as well. Meantime, I'm going to clear off our space here because we are actually pretty darn close, at least to having this first one done. So I'm going to start getting everything ready to start plating up. Actually, I'm going to need that. Because you know us chefs, we've been making a mess. Charcuterie board. That's one of the first, probably the top three things that we get if we see it on the menu. We have a local restaurant here in Jackson area. I have no affiliation with them all other than we eat there probably once every other month. It's a place called Lou's Full Serve, and they have probably the best charcuterie board in all of Jackson. It's so good. It's served on like one of those sheet trays, but it's just slap full. It's got everything. So it's got three different kinds of cured meats, a grilled meat, three or four different cheeses, and then there's three to four different spreads. It's got a jam. It's got like a vegetable, like onion jam. And then one of the newest things that they've been adding on that's super unique is they made a salmon skin pork rind that is out of this world good. And this dog again is trying to break in. The salmon skin pork rind, which they literally get the skin off the salmon that's on one of their dishes. They scrape all the fat off on it, they boil it, cut it into sections, and then deep fry it. And it puffs up. and they put barbecue seasoning on it. It's absolutely stellar. The lima, yeah, they do lima bean. The spreads are lima bean hummus, pimento cheese. They always have a roasted pepper, like goat cheesy type spread, and then there's something else. Jalapeno cream cheese. That's what it is. They always have just a really good spread on it. And again, we're talking probably $35 for it. That's probably the $35 I'll pay every single time. All right. Giving it a little touch. Actually think we're pretty darn close. So again, we're gonna give it another little hit. For a small group idea. Now it kind of depends on how you want to go in on it. Like me, I'm a it's my inner chef. My access is my excess is everything kind of. I don't mind spending the money as long as I know I'm getting quality. You could do it though for say 20 people. You could probably do it for less than $100. Restaurants get to cheat a little bit because they buy it in bulk. That's why restaurants can do it for such a less cost. They're buying whole loaves of Hama uh, for prosciutto. They're buying whole sections of capicola and slicing it down themselves. They're able to save money. I think you could do a really really good one for 20 people for less than right around $100. We typically that's one of the things that I get asked to do when we go home for Christmas and Thanksgiving is for us to do a charcuterie board. That's become like our thing that we're known to do now at this point. There we go. This one right here is looking fantastic. All right, we're gonna. Oh, smell that honey is like absolutely glazing them up. We're gonna. Hopefully, we're gonna get to it before this dog comes in and busts in on us. Oh my goodness. So we got our first one right here, the thinner one right here. Gonna bring it on. Go ahead and bring it on over to our table while those kind of finish up cooking through, and we're gonna start to plate up. So we'll do one individual portion to see what that looks like, and then we're gonna plate this other one family style. I could probably sit here and eat this entire bowl of just this, much less the. Not going to be any leftovers. A lot of times, people have asked me, well, you cook these multiple portions, and yeah, a lot of times they are for us here for dinner, but also my coworkers have come in and they have. Say what? Oh, right. A lot of times my coworkers, they've kind of have gotten a little spoiled at me coming in with etouffee and last week, what was it last week? We had the marry me chicken. We had all kinds of food that we were bringing in. Right. So we got our individual portion here. I'm gonna give just one more little sweet over the top. Give it some lime zest. Then we're gonna hit it with just a little bit of cotija over the top. And again, that's gonna take some of that saltiness and kind of balance out all that honey and sugar that we've been adding on. And then there we go. Bring this in close. Let's get in a good look at it. Yeah, that's it right there, right? Don't you just want to sit down and eat on this? I admit, I'm gonna I'm gonna sit down here and I'm gonna have to suffer and eat this. It's gonna be a tough job. Let's get a cut of this real quick and let's get a flavor check in. While these last two or three cook through. Oh man, that looks good. Pop it back right here. Absolutely nailed this cook. So let me bring this over to you so you can see it. It is absolutely juicy. I don't know if the camera's going to do it justice, but look at that right there. Absolutely cooked through. Now it's my favorite part of this whole thing. Ah, that is so good. And cameraman is. What you think, cameraman? You get the sweetness off that honey. You get a little bite of that cayenne. You get a little bit of spice. You get with that cayenne. You get the saltiness from the cotija cheese and that fatty lusciousness from that butter that we've built into the sauce. That right there is out of this world. Let's plate up these last two right here. And a little sprinkle over the top. Let's not forget our zesty zest. Really like that lime zest on there. I feel like that really kind of took it over the top. And then just a little bit of cilantro to finish it up. And boom, bring it in closer. And that's it right there. That is a Nashville hot pork chop with a charred corn elote. My name is Jonathan. This is Deep South Foodies. This is our Deep South live segment. We do it every Sunday. So we hope to see you next week, 5 o'clock. Your vote matters on what we do next week. So be looking for that poll. That'll be up by the end of the night tonight. And we'll have the recipes and everything we need set up by Tuesday. So you'll be able to know exactly what you need. If you need to make an Amazon order for anything, you can have it delivered right into your home. Yes, those Amazon affiliates do help provide for the account. It helps buy things like these pork chops, that Weber grill, and all of that stuff. So I always do appreciate it when you go through those links, even if you're not buying anything directly from that link, like you don't buy that exact item, but you go in through that link, I still get credit for whatever you purchase when you go through that link. And again, that's always very much appreciated. It helps buy cool, thick pork chops like this. It helps buy the Weber grill and all those things to make this channel happen. Helps me, have this amazing food, which allows me to have an amazing, beautiful wife. I think that's what helps keep her around is this food. So thank you so much. She's laughing. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time here on Deep South Foodies. Couldn't find the button.